Welcome to Sensual Secrets, where we talk about how you can live in pleasure by embracing your feminine energy, finding and nurturing a deeply loving relationship, and growing into the best version of yourself. My name is Lieke Seles, and I will be your host, guiding you on this intimate journey of self-discovery. I hope you really enjoy, and please subscribe. It would mean so much to me. Hello beautiful souls, and welcome to a new episode of Sensual Secrets. Today I want to talk about feminine embodiment and how we can connect with our feminine energy through the body. One of the most incredible ways we can use the body as a portal to connect with our feminine energy is to simply connect with our feminine body parts, which means honoring our breasts, our vulva, our vagina, and our womb. Honoring those parts of our body through practices, through our love, attention, through putting in the work, specifically focused on those parts of the body and healing those parts or the trauma that is stuck inside of those parts. Because we want to create that loving relationship with ourselves and with the physical manifestation of our feminine energy, the materialization of it into our physical world. And these body parts aren't just what makes us feminine, but they are a big part of it. And I want to share a few of my favorite feminine embodiment practices with you. Those are, first of all, Yoni breathing. This is such a simple exercise, but it's so valuable. And just as a side note, remind yourself that create a safe space for yourself to do these practices so that you can go deeply into it and notice how doing these practices can really set off some emotional triggers, and it can just lead to such a big emotional release because we are holding emotions, we're holding trauma, small t trauma, big T trauma, in our feminine body parts that we don't even know we are carrying. And we tend to look after our body and our skin and our maybe the tightness of our ass or the whiteness of our teeth or our hair. But in general, we don't really give attention to our breasts, our vulva, our womb. And going into these body parts after they've been left uncared for so long can really shake things up. But as I said, it can be such a big release and you just feel so much lighter afterwards. So whenever you choose to do these practices, I suggest that you create a safe space for yourself so that you can really let go and you don't need to look at anything, and just make sure you have some tissues at hand that that might be very helpful. But yeah, first of all, the Yoni breathing. Make yourself comfortable. You get into a comfortable position and you contract your pelvic floor whenever you breathe in. And then when you breathe out, when you exhale through the mouth, you release the pelvic floor and you let go of the pelvic floor. Then when you breathe in, you contract the pelvic floor. And when you breathe out, you release. Then you can evolve to inhaling and contracting your pelvic floor and holding it for a few seconds. And then releasing it again. And you keep repeating this process for the number of times that you feel fit. And then you switch around to contracting your pelvic floor when you exhale. And then when you inhale, you release. So you contract the pelvic floor when you exhale, and when you inhale, you release. And go through this practice while in your safe setting with some music on the background, your tissues next to you, and you can really try to go into this for 10-15 minutes and just see what comes up. Whatever wants to flow out, whatever wants to be felt, will be felt. You don't need to make any sense of it. just let it flow out, or just feel whatever you want to feel, whatever the body is showing you, or just let any visions that might pop up just unfold as they want to, any realizations that you might have. Next to Yoni breathing, one of my absolute favorites is breast massage. It's really beautiful to do this in an intentional setting, in your safe space, or also just every morning when you're brushing your teeth and you're standing in front of the mirror naked. Massage your breasts for a few minutes to connect with your feminine energy, to connect with your sensuality, to awaken the fire inside of yourself. And when doing this in a practice setting, you might want to use some coconut oil, again, maybe some incense, some candles, some nice music, and you just start massaging your breasts. This can be in a sensual way. It doesn't mean that it has to be a sexual way. You might want to shake your breasts. You might want to stroke your nipples. In whatever way your breasts want to be touched and you want to touch your breasts is the right way to do it. There is no wrong way of doing this. But what I've learned recently is that shaking the breasts might really help with releasing some trauma, some shame that has been brought on to your breasts. I know, for example, for myself that I used to be so insecure and also ashamed of my breasts because I thought they were too small, and that has caused me a lot of ways of not being nice to them and not honoring them, not loving them in the way they should be loved. And I hear this from other women in the opposite way as well, that maybe they are too heavy, too big, and you're complaining about them. But if you choose to have a baby, that is what nurtures new life. Can you switch this perspective about your breasts and start feeling love and gratitude for them? And can you shake out any negative energy, any shame, any hurtful energy that they've been going through? And if you want, even scream with it. Shake your body and scream to let go of that trauma for yourself and for all other women around the world, generations to come and generations past. And then a very simple exercise, which you can do in a practice, safe, beautiful setting, or just anywhere throughout your day, is breathing love into your womb. And I really like this one, especially when I notice that my hormones are off balance, or when I notice that my period is late, for example. I really honor my womb more, and I really make sure that I send her love and care. And I do this by placing my hands on my womb, or sometimes one hand on my heart, one hand on my womb, and I breathe into my womb. I take a big, deep abdominal breath, and I breathe in love all the way into my womb, and I let it flow down to create spaciousness there, to create relaxation, to send that loving energy into my womb. And then when I exhale, I let go of any energy that I was holding on to, that was creating stress for her, or that wasn't making her feel safe, to let go, to start a new menstrual cycle, for example. So beautiful. I love doing this work. And then something that is really, really beneficial for you to connect with your feminine energy or to unblock your sacral chakra. And I will do some sacral chakra meditations later on in another episode. But for the moment, try practicing some hip opening stretches. And there are so many different hip opening stretches or different yoga poses that will help with hip opening. One stretch that I really like to do is when I'm sitting upright, and instead of crossing my legs, I put my feet together and I press down both of my knees on each side. Or the happy baby pose, in which you lay on your back and you take your big toe with your fingers and then you open up your legs like that. Or even something that really helps me is to stretch my quads just by standing on one leg and bending one knee all the way till my heel touches my butt, and you feel the stretch in the upper front part of your leg and your hip. And then the last one that I really like is for the piriformis muscle. It's when you lay down on your back, you bend both knees, you cross one leg over, and then you pull the leg, which still has the foot on the ground, you pull that towards you, and you will feel that stretch in your butt if it's right. So these are a few physical practices we can do to really reconnect with our feminine body and to open that up and to let that energy flow freely and to let go of any stagnant energy or any trauma or any stressful energy that makes us contracted. And then another way in which we connect with our feminine through the body is by feeling, by being present and aware of what is going on inside of our body. That means processing emotions in the body instead of in the mind. To truly experience your emotions by going into an emotion instead of trying to understand it intellectually as to where it's coming from, what triggered it, what caused it, how you can solve it. All of that intellectualization can just be another coping technique in which you avoid to fully feeling the emotion in your body because you might still be scared to feel the pain or discomfort. But learning how to feel, to not run away from your emotions, to truly go into the pain or the discomfort is so important. And not only in the hurtful way, also it's really, really nice in the positive spectrum of your emotions to truly experience those butterflies or the heartwarming feeling when you love someone or the extreme bliss which just makes you want to jump around or cry from beauty. It's just a matter of feeling the depth of your emotion, positive or negative, high or low. Because when you truly feel that emotion, especially when it's a negative one, you don't contract around it and you let it pass. The energy doesn't get stuck inside of you. It moves through you. So you're not holding on to all of these hurtful feelings and you're not pushing them down, which would drain your energy. So yes, the body keeps the score, and connecting with our feminine energy also means connecting with the body. So choose how you want to treat your body and how you want it to flow freely, to work beautifully in coherence without anything holding it back. Your body is your temple, and I'll leave it at that. Have a beautiful day.